What's up, YouTube? It's your boy back again, Jody motherfucking Keith, with another story time. And this story time is one that was kind of demanded by the fans. You know, people want to know what happened. So, and I felt the need to explain it at least from my point of view. Okay, so it was round 5. I was live on Star City Games and Star City Games Dallas, and I'm playing against Enchantress. Now the match is falling on me. It's Team Trios. Okay, so I'm over here. Now, first game, I made a quick 20-20 and I beat him. The second game, he played a Blood Sun on me, and which didn't really mess me up. It was just the fact that he had Enchantress rolling, so I couldn't really deny him card advantage. And then he played the Blood Sun. He drew the card, he passed the turn. Now I draw, and I go, and I play a Tireless Tracker, okay? And he's like, whoa. And I'm like, what? And then he's like, you don't have any colored mana. That's what he told me. He told me I didn't have any colored mana. So then I was like, whoa, dude. That's a sun. That's not a moon. It's daytime out here. I got green mana. You know what I'm saying? So, like, easy there, Turbo. And then he was like, oh, my bad. Oh, my bad. Played like he was naive. And to be fair, the guy seemed to me like he was just nervous on the camera. Maybe he was a little naive. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I've never met the guy before. But I'm just telling you, so I was like, okay, well, I'm just letting you know that so you don't mess his game state up. So then I ended up losing that game. We ended up going to game 3. Now, all of my opponent's deck is Japanese, okay? And now when I decompress the story, this is one of the sticking points here. Okay, so his whole deck is Japanese. So he knows what his cards do. Why else do you have a Japanese legacy deck unless you know? And I heard from other people that weekend because I asked some people about this guy. And, like, they were all like, oh, yeah. He plays that deck. And it's like, he plays that deck. So you got to know how your cards work. I mean, unless you're just trying to misrepresent a game state here. So anyway, so then the next game where we were playing, and we get to this point where he's got Serra's Sanctum out, which taps for 1 white for each enchantment that he controls. And at this time, he controls a Sterling Grove, an Enchantress's Presence, and he also controls an Exploration. And now he also has an Argolia Enchantress over here too. So now he casts an Exploration. He has 2 Enchantress triggers, 3 enchantments in play, 1 on the stack, right? So with the draw triggers on the stack, he draws 1 card. He's got another draw on the stack. With that on the stack, he taps the Sanctum for mana, and he stacks it, and he sacks his Sterling Grove to go get a Pithing Needle. Okay, so that's what he does. All right, and I'm like, okay, cool, And then I'm like, how are you paying for that thing? He's like, with the Serra Sanctum, and I'm like, well, why do you have 3 mana floating? He's like, I floated 4. I said, why did you float 4? He's like, because I have 4 enchantments. And I was like, well, dude, you don't have 4 enchantments. And he's like, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm like, 1, 2, 3. That shit's still in the stack. You see what I'm saying? So, like, right there, he's floating an extra mana when he's only supposed to float 3. So, like, that's not cool. You know what I'm saying? He's trying to tell me I don't have colored mana with the Blood Sun. Then he's trying to float an extra mana with Sarah saying, oh, my bad. Oh, my bad. So that's the story, Oh, my bad. So now, we go deeper in this game. I don't know if that was game 2 with the Pithing Needle or not. I think it was, but all that happened together. But that has all culminated into this other turn where he plays a land, and it was really weird because in game 1 and 2, he played his auras behind his lands. You see what I'm saying? Like he targeted a land and he put it behind it when it resolved. Okay. Now in this game 3, he has a Wild Growth on a land, and it's on top of the land. Okay. Now I see him play 2 more lands, and I'm looking at some other shit, but then I look back and I check back. It looks like he's about to tap these lands for mana over here. And one of the lands is sitting on top of a Wild Growth. And it's one of the lands he just played. So it looks like the Wild Growth is on the land that he just played. So I wanted to correct this part. I was like, dude, what's going on with this aura over here? Because he's about to tap for mana. I'm like, where is that Wild Growth? Oh, it's on this land. And I'm like, you just played that land. He's like, no, it's on this land. Oh, my bad. Oh, my bad. Okay, so like, now we're in a feature match, okay, and they got a judge standing right here, but he's a table spotter judge, okay? They don't interject in what's going on with the game, really. They just keep it up for the coverage, you see? So, like, he's not calling him on any of this stuff. I'm correcting my opponent, like, as you should. You should just correct your opponent. I mean, I don't think you should fervently call judges, you know what I'm saying? But don't be scared to call a judge. If something is up and you're not sure about something, see, I'm pretty sure because I've been playing a Legacy for a long time. But like, if you're uncertain, you need to call a judge. I did a whole video about this. Check the video series. Check out the story time. I've already done a story time about calling judges. Judges are there to help you out. So now I'm over here, and then we get to this last turn, and I catch a sphere resistance, and I decided to play the sphere resistance. Now, my opponent has Words of War in play, okay, which is his win condition. He can replace his draw steps with shocks, okay, and he's got a lot of enchantresses. But he has to do 18 damage to me to kill me, okay? So I don't know if he can come up with the 18 damage. You know, I think it's only going to take a couple enchantments and a lot of mana. So what I do is I play the sphere, and I'm hoping that he can't kill me this turn, and that I can draw a K-Grip to kill his Words of War, and then he can't kill me with it. You know, now I know maybe he has a way to shuffle it back in, but what if one of the enchantments he plays is a Rest in Peace, which I know is in his deck? You see what I'm saying? But I haven't seen any way for him to bring back an enchantment this whole match. So I got to play my outs here. Like, I got to kill his win condition and hope he decks. You see? Like, I mean, I'm always in there trying to figure out which way I'm going to win the game. That's the way I'm going to win the game. I see that now. This is how I'm going to win the game. Because he's already overrun me in card advantage. So I'm using card advantage against him and let him deck himself. So that's my whole plan anyway. So I play the Sphere, hope to survive, pass the turn. Sphere says that all spells cost 1 extra mana. Okay? So I pass the turn, he draws. Now he's going to need all his mana to kill me this turn. So he draws, or a good amount of it. I don't know how much of it it's going to take. I don't play Enchantress. I've been playing this match for my opponent, but like, you know, I don't play Enchantress. So I don't know the math on it. I can tell you Seismic Assault loan math in my sleep. But anyway, so now when it comes to Enchantress. So he's over here, he taps 2 mana and he goes, Argothian Enchantress. And I look at him. I said, Argothian Enchantress. He's like, Argothian Enchantress. And I'm waiting for him to pay the full amount of mana for the spell, because the spell costs 3 mana. He doesn't do it. I wait. I'm like, Judge, I need a judge. Let me talk to the judge. So I talk to the judge away from the table. I'm like, listen, my opponent has tried to float an extra mana. He has. I didn't remember in the heat of that moment right there that he actually tried to screw me out of colored mana. He tried to misrepresent his blood sun and tell me that I didn't have any colored mana, because I didn't tell the judge that. But basically, I did tell the judge, hey, you know, it looked like he moved an aura on me. He was trying to move an aura on me. He floated extra mana out of his Serra Sanctum. You know, he misrepresented how many enchantments were in play. You know, and then all this other stuff. You know, and then not only that, he's now trying to pay less for a spell than he's supposed to pay. So I'm just wondering if you wouldn't mind watching this match, especially this turn when he's trying to kill me, and make sure that he pays enough mana to do all of his stuff and that all the game state is correct. Because, you know, that other judge, he wasn't seeing it. Oh, well, he's just a table spotter. I said, okay. I mean, I understand. That's how it is. Look, I don't get on camera that much. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, you know, like, I just want to make sure this game has the proper result. Would you mind watching? He says, no trouble at all. So he watches, and then the opponent ends up killing me. Okay, great. I died. You know, no big deal. It's not like this is the first game of Magic I ever lost. You know, I'll lose them plenty. If you watch my stream, you definitely know, link down below, if you want to see some losing. So, definitely lose. So, you know, I called the judge in on the thing, and, you know, a lot of people got all upset and said, oh, I'm some kind of rules lawyer trying to game it to where he gets a penalty. That's my only way to win. You know, he's clearly locked out of this game. First of all, you don't know anything about Legacy if you think that I'm locked out right here, because I'm not. I got a game plan. First of all, I don't know that he has Replenish. Turns out he had Replenish. So I needed a K-Grip and a Surgical, okay? Or I needed him to try and kill me by casting a Rest in Peace for one of his enchantments, which I'm loaming pretty hard, so he might do. If he thinks he can't kill me, he might want to get the Rest in Peace in play, and that would completely... And you can't give this guy the benefit of the doubt because he's been messing up left, right, and center. So he might have boarded out his way to bring back the enchantment. You see what I'm saying? I mean, he sacked the Sterling Grove to go get an enchantment he didn't need. You see what I'm saying? When he could have just had the Sterling Grove in play protecting and shit. So, like, I'm not giving this guy any credit for anything on the way that the game's supposed to be played. I mean, he doesn't know how to play his cards. So, or that's you know, the image that he's projecting. So, like, that's what I'm going to play off of, the information that I have. So, I'm not completely locked out of this game. Is it real bad for me? Sure. But do I have a game plan? Sure. Do I have a way to kill him? Definitely. Most definitely. So, you know, I just wanted the judge to make sure that this guy plays all his cards right. Ain't nothing wrong with that. You know, call the judge. Don't be scared to call the judge. So that's what I did. I don't care if I'm on camera or not. I'm still in the Magic tournament. It's my right. That's what the judges are here for. I want the judge to make sure that this game is played correctly, especially this turn when he's going to kill me. And that he said he would watch. And he watched, and I died. And then after that, I was like, okay, you know. And then he was like, well, you know, my opponent was all like, you know, oh, sorry about that. And I'm like, listen, dude, it's not a sorry thing. I mean, you're paying, underpaying for your spell here. You did all this other stuff too. I don't know you. I never met you, you know. Good game, nice playing you. But, like, I've never met you before. I don't know what your intention is here, and I just want to make sure judge made sure that even if it's a mistake, I don't want to mistakenly die because I can't keep up with what you're doing because you're doing whatever. Why should I have to play your game for you? If I wanted to play Enchantress, I would go buy some Sarah Sanctums. But you know what? I don't fuck with Sarah Sanctum. So, nice playing you, man. Good luck rest of the day. Whatever. And the judge told me, because I was like, because dude, this has happened to me personally. And this is what I told the guy. I said, this has happened to me personally. I've had 10 lands in play, cast a Life from Loam, and then for 2 mana, and got a game loss because I already had a penalty prior. This is multiple years back. And because I already had a penalty revolving around something similar. Because it's automatic warning because there's too much potential for abuse there. Like if I'm over here playing standard, or just say I'm playing modern, I just tap 5 mana, play prime time. My opponent says, okay, I go grab some lands, put the lands, and my opponent's like, oh, what's going on? And it's like, you're dead, Valakut. And then it's like, well, I'm dead, pick up the cards. Like, you won a game, you had no business winning because, or not no business winning, but you did it a turn early because you underpaid for your spell. Where you're doing the same thing in this situation. You see how there's potential for abuse here. That's why there needs to be a warning. And so the judge overheard me say that to the guy. And the judge is like, well, they already picked up a slip, otherwise I would issue a warning. I said, look, I don't want you to give this guy a warning. You know what I'm saying? And now in hindsight, maybe I wish he would have given him a warning. Because the thing about it is like this. You got to learn, and if you are trying to game me, because I went back and watched the tape, and the thing on the tape was his teammate played in a gate without blue mana against Jim Davis. So are these guys trying to like game, birds of a feather, flock together, you know what I'm saying? So like, I don't know. So that's why, since it's not my job to know. These judges, they get paid to do this stuff. You know what I'm saying? They're there to make sure that the game's played right. So you know what? Don't be scared to call the judge and let the judge figure out what's going on. And that's all I did. But then, this and that. Joey's a cheater. He's trying to do his thing. He's trying to rule his lawyer. I'm the cheater? What about this guy? If I'd have done half the things this guy did, the first 2 things, then you're going to call me a cheat. And you want me DQ'd probably. You know what I'm saying? First of all, I would never play Enchantress. But if I had some game rules infractions or, misrepresentations, I'm automatically a scumbag. So you know what? There's no equal treatment out here. We're all playing underneath the same REL. Can we just get the same, rules? Like, that's all I want, is to be able to play under the same rules. But anyway, that's what happened this past weekend. It kind of shook me a little bit after that. And then after I, decompressed and looked at the whole story, I think that maybe the guy was trying to cheat me. Especially in the classic, which you look in the, I'll put a link in the video up above. But that basically, this other guy ended up getting disqualified, against me. And it was like, misrepresenting the game state one time with an intent. It's like with intent. That guy could have had the intent with the Blood Moon, you know what I'm saying? So like, oh, you can't cast any spells. And then like, what? Get out of here, man. And like, think about how many times, see, now I know better. But what happens when they play against somebody who's new, who's trying to get in a legacy, who's trying to have a good time, who's just playing a legacy because their team couldn't find a legacy player, so he got thrown some legacy deck with a bunch of dual lands, and then next thing you know, he thinks he can't cast any spells because the guy told him that he couldn't, and then he's just not savvy enough to talk to the judge about it. You see, so I should have talked about the judge. You never be scared to ask the judge. But anyway, yeah, if you like the story, tell me about a time that somebody did something fishy to you. Check out my other story. I told another story about the guy who got DQ'd or whatever. But, just, hide your kids, hide your wives, bring your friends over here in Storytime in the GoonSquad, baby. I'd like to hear your stories down below. Like, comment, subscribe, share, so we get some more people in here. If you know somebody who was involved in Judge Call, make sure they see the video, and let me know about it in the comments below. And I'll catch y'all on the next one. One love, good vibes.